want to welcome Rita. We want to welcome Rita, who has just joined us. Sorry about that. Rita, welcome. I mean Irene. Irene, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We started with a prayer which was said by Alpha, and our lesson started a little earlier, but nevertheless, we welcome you. You have just come, but Rita was going through what we did in the preparation stage of field work, which we said is the first stage of field work, which has 3 names: preparation stage, pre-field stage, and before field stage. That's what Rita was going through, and she did it very, very, very well. I want to thank her for that, because, and he listed the activities that he involved. He was repeating for Alpha, because we have missed Alpha for quite some time. And this stage involves activities. According to Rita, he said there is PTOM. You remember that acronym, which I gave you in class. It helps you to arrange, because the first 4 have to be in order. The first 4 activities have to be in order. Like I told you when you're starting your day in the morning. If you're going to leave home to go to class, if you're going to leave your dormitory to go to class, there is no way you say, I put on my uniform. Then number 2, I went to PES. You get the point. Hmm? Yes. There's no way you say, I put on my uniform, I went to class. Then number 2, then I picked my bucket and went to shower. You see? Now they will wonder what type of, so that's why we have the first 4 activities being in order. First 4 activities being in order, being the pilot study. Our teacher carried out pilot. Now this is how we answer. You don't just write a paragraph and put pilot study. Number 2, topic of study, which was, no, you have to state this. You are answering a question, which question says, how did you prepare for field work? How did you prepare for field work? Describe the steps you took before going to the field. That is the same question. Okay, so the first, like Rita said, is a pilot study. Our teacher carried out pilot study. Visited the LOC1 chairperson of Umbuya village to allow us carry out our field work study. You see, you have to put the reason. The reason have to be there. Why did the teacher? There are 2 reasons for pilot study. One, I keep saying, is to get permission. Yeah, if you are going to do field work in a market, you don't storm the market. You'll be arrested. You have to go there and inform them earlier. You inform them earlier about your intention to have field work there. So that means you go and visit the authorities of the market and ask them, please, chairperson of this market, I have students I would like to bring. Can you allow us? This period of COVID now, you know, he said, please bring them, but follow SOPs. Okay, so before you come, that means the authorities of that market, they have prior knowledge of your coming. Otherwise, if you take a mammoth of people, yeah, a crowd of people, you take them to a market without permission, it will be trespass. Yeah, people will ask you. That's the first reason for the pilot site, to get permission there. That's one. The other reason is, if you are going to carry out field work, of course, you have to find out whether what you want to study is really there. You have a topic. Yeah, you have a topic, for example, a topic like the growth and development of Masese fish landing site. Masese fish landing site. That one is found in Jinja, in Masese village, Walukuba division, Walukuba division. Now Jinja, you know, is a city, Jinja city. That's where it is found. So in that case, if you are going to do field work on a landing site, so me who does a pilot study, I have to go and find out whether it is really a landing site. Does it exist? Because you imagine a situation when we leave school and we end up in a market, yet the topic is the growth and development of a landing site. You know, that means you have misfired. There is no correlation between what you are going to study and what you have gone for. So the other point of carrying out pilot study is, first, to find out whether the geographical features that you want to study really exist. So that is the pilot study. So you have to put the reason. Number two, like Rita put it, we have topic. We chose our topic of study. We chose our topic of study, which was, you see the tense we are using. The tense we are using is past tense because this fieldwork was carried a little earlier. The fieldwork was carried out a little earlier. So you cannot say we got our topic, which is, you can imagine, or we have our topic, which is, that's not true, because this fieldwork was done a little earlier. So we have to stick to that tense there of past tense. So we chose our topic, which was, you open quotes. Why do you open quotes? Because you are quoting it from a different source, which was, you state the topic, and the topic must be correct. If you quote the topic and the topic is not correct, there is no way you'll get a mark there. Which was, you write it well, you don't miss any dot or any word. Which was the relationship, between physical features and land use activities around Mbuya Hill, in Mbuya village, Nakawa division, Kampala district. That's the topic. We are now answering what we did in the pilot, in the preparation stage. So after the topic, I'm rushing through very fast because Rita did this very fast. I don't want to leave Irina alone because this is for our own good. There's no harm by repeating the same thing over and over again. If we get it well, this will be good for you. So we go to the objectives. We formulated the objectives. We formulated the objectives to be used. We formulated the objectives of the study. Then you put an apostrophe, or you put a comma. You outline like two to find out the problems facing land use activities around Mbuya Hill. To find out the physical features around Mbuya Hill. You see, you have to finish the objective around Mbuya Hill. Around Mbuya Hill. That is very, very important because there are some candidates who stop at a point to find out the historical background of a hill. Which hill? You have to stick to the hill where you are doing your field work from. That is very, very important, please. So you can see we are following the order of PTOM, that acronym. P is a letter, then the name TOM helps you to remember the first four because they have to be in chronological order. They are supposed to be chronology. Between pilot study, you got the topic, now we have come to the objectives. There you are, now we are on the methods. We selected the methods to use in the field, observation, measurement, recording, full stop. You don't need to mention all. And even in this paragraph, you don't need to define what observation is. You don't need to define what measurement is. Nothing. You just list them and put a full stop. Then you continue. We are finished pilot study. We are finished pilot study, topic, objectives, methods. Remember the words I use. Here we chose the topic. Here we formulated the objectives. Here we selected the methods. We see the language I'm using. We selected the method. After selecting the method, now we went and selected the tools we are going to use. When we go to the field study, what tools are we going to use? You see the tools there depend on the methods that you are going to use. If above there in the latter statement there, you said we have the methods like observation. What tools are you going to use? Do you need a camera? No. A camera for recording. Observation. What do you need? Do you need binoculars? Yes, binoculars. Do you need gumboots? Do you need a pen? Do you need a book? You are going to use measurement. What do you need for measurement? You remember we took a measuring tape. We used the measuring tape. We had the method like sampling. You remember we took a spade and a hoe. So you list all these ones. You list all these ones. We selected the methods to use while in the field. That is, you know, that is tape measure. A pen is a tool. A book is a tool. We had a spade is a tool. Yeah, finished. So we organize the tools. After organizing the tools, what came next? We are now preparing before you go to the field. Yeah, our teacher put us in the groups of 9 students, to ensure group study. That was an activity. And I remember we made the groups. Fortunately, all these things we did practically. I can say we can count ourselves lucky that before the lockdown came, we had done this, and that was my struggle. Such that you go home when this is done. When you come, at least this is not new to you. So our teacher put us in group of 9 students to ensure group study. After that, another point can be each group, for example, each group was given a task. For example, group A was to find out the different types of land physical features around Mbuya Hill. That was group A. Full stop. You know, you can see our answers. You are sounding real, you know, you are sounding factual. Yeah, you are sounding that you really did the thing. This is how field work is. Like I told you, it is something done out of class to break this monotony of chalk and talk. You know, chalk and talk, where a teacher is there with chalk and is talking. Here, everything is practical. And if you listen to these answers we have, everything you can see, we did it. So, you know, these points, to give these points of preparation stage, the marks you have in the brackets there also guide you on how many points you are to give. If the question says, describe the steps you took before going to the field, and in the brackets they have put 6 marks. So, you know, every point has a mark and you're sure of what you're writing. So you go and put there 7 points. Finish, you continue, not to waste time. You go and answer other questions. Yeah. So if there are more marks, 10 marks, please ensure that you raise 10 points. If possible, duplicate some of these points. Like you see, there is a time I added. The teacher put us in groups of 9 students and assigned tasks for each group. Now you see this time, I'm dividing the 2 points. I said the first point, the teacher put us in a groups of 9 students to ensure group study. Yeah, so I cut out one of the tasks. Now I'm saying each group, now that's another point. Each of the group which was made was assigned a task. For example, group A was to find out the different physical features around Mbuya Hill. You put a full stop. Okay, so I can duplicate more. And say, now we got permission from the administration, yeah, and the head of department of geography to allow us carry out field work. Yeah, to allow us carry out field work. And this is true because you remember when we went for field work, we used the whole afternoon. So we had to beg for lessons. Yeah. I also had to inform sister that, please, sister, this time, sister, we are not around. This time we are not around. Why? Well, we are going out for field work study. How many are going? You remember we wrote our list down. We wrote the list down of students going outside for field work. So that means the head teacher was aware. How many students were going out, at what time, and when are they coming back. That is one. So that last bit there is Now we got permission from the administration of the school, yeah, and the head of department to allow us go for field work. You see, this is all preparation, yeah, because you remember that afternoon, we didn't, it was then basically field work, and other teachers allowed us to do. There's no way the teachers can allow you to do it if you have not asked them to help you with that time. Okay, so now we continue. After that, what comes next? What comes next? I can still duplicate and say, our teacher briefed us. Yeah, we had a briefing. Yeah, we had a briefing before going to the field, and the teacher emphasized a point of being serious in our groups, cooperating in our groups, yeah, keeping discipline as we go out of the school, as discipline both in the village and to use the road well, to allow other people use the road. That is the briefing which can be there. Before we go out, we had this briefing. Okay, then after briefing, now you sum it all and say, now we departed. Okay? We departed for field work at 2 p.m. in our respective groups to ensure group study. Well, if such work is written like that, my friend, if such work is written like that, it takes time to write such work, but you can write it if you keep practicing these things. Unfortunately, you're at home, but even if you're at home, you keep practicing these things. Practice leads to perfection. So you keep practicing. Thereafter, you'll be perfect. So I want to welcome Jessica. There's Jessica who has just joined us. I don't know whether you were here before, but we're talking about the first stage of field work. And before I had to repeat, Rita had explained it. But I know what I've said, I've added more value to her because there is a way we can make these points. So that is all. That is all. So Irene, who was there, and Omega, at least this part you missed, but now we are going to continue. That is the first, and that stage of field work is to prepare you to go to the field. Yeah? And those are the activities that are supposed to be done in this part of field work. So we are now moving to the second stage. Second stage of field work is where now we are now applying the methods of study and application of the objective. This method is also called the real fieldwork study. The real fieldwork study or stage. Excursion sounds like you want to discover something. When you look at the problems you have, I mean the objectives you got and the topic, these show a research problem. When you go to university, you'll do research. What they call a research problem is the topic you have. If you come up with a topic like ours, the relationship between physical features and land use activities around Imbuya, that becomes a research problem because you are going to go out and research, then you solve that problem. You solve that problem. So stage 2 of fieldwork is now where we go to the real fieldwork, the real fieldwork study. The real fieldwork study. That's where we're now going. So this stage involves application of the methods that you outlined in the objectives, and after the methods, you apply also the objectives because you got the field with an objective. How are you going to achieve the objectives? You have in your preparation, you have outlined the methods. You see how these stages are one leads to the other, one leads to the other. So now, here, we now want to explain the methods. We have different methods. Yeah, we have observation, that's we used. We used interviewing, I remember well. We used the recording, I remember that. We used measurement, that one is also, I remember. I don't know if I've forgotten. Sampling was also part of them. Yeah, even map sketching, we used map sketching. It's also a method that we used. So we are going to start one by one. Okay? And I'm going to ask you where you are there. I'm going to ask you some questions, you answer, because we are going through it. Mpola mpola. Let me just first of all hear from Jessica. Jessica, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Jessica, what is your other name? Sorry? Jessica?
My other name is Ato. Ato.
Okay. My friend from Nalia, isn't it? Oh, Ato. Okay.
No.
I've forgotten where you stay, but I know you. Ato, how are you?
Fine, thank you, teacher.
Now, you remember the methods which we use for field work, isn't it?
Yes.
Please pick one, define it very well, show how we can apply it, then we shall pick it from there. Please pick one.
Measurement. Measurement involves the use of calibrated and non-calibrated instruments to establish size, weight, and area of the geographical features in the field. For example, we can use spacing whereby we can use like the strides we take and add them, then we divide by 2
So
to get the actual measurement.
So I want you to sound like you are answering without this the slangs you're using in your submission, like what you sound the way it is written on paper. You are answering. If the question is at all, how did you use one of the following methods? One, measurement. Now, sound like you are writing on paper.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
We used measurement method, which involves the use of calibrated and non-calibrated instruments to establish size, weight, and area of the geographical features in the field. For example, spacing method, whereby we use the strides we took to find the distance of the road, which we added and divided by 2 to get the actual figure.
Jessica, if you write like that, you have no marks. Someone wants to say something?
Yes, can I try?
Yes.
We use the measurement method. And this is the method which involves use of calibrated and non-calibrated instruments to establish size, weight, area of geographical features in the field. We stretched tape measure and found the width of Ismail Road south of Mboya Hill, which was 20 feet.
Thank you. Can you try the one she wanted to use of pacing?
Okay. We used pacing, which involves use of strides to estimate the distance of geographical features. We estimated the distance from Old Port Bell Road to Mboya Nile Factory, which was 185 strides.
Good. Alpha, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So, any hope Jessica's heard. Now, this other part here, 3 marks are given. The first mark is for a correct definition. The second mark is for application. Yeah, define, apply an example. Yeah, so the other mark is for an example, which example has to be rooted on the area of study to show that you really carried out the study. Let me show you, like Omega put it. Measurement. This involves, you don't even have to say, because the question says, describe how you use any of the following methods while in the field. Measurement. So on your answer sheet, you put Roman 1, measurement. Straight away, you got the definition. Measurement involves the use of calibrated and non-calibrated instruments to determine the length, the width, distance, area of the features in the field. Full stop. That's the definition, which is correct.